You recording this shit yet?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Big Beefing Show.
Beefing.
Yeah, is that what you say when you tell people what the show is? You're like, it's Big Beefing.
No, you say that.
So you just got back from a big old trip down to the nation's capital, huh?
Did you? Are you recording this?
Yeah, motherfucker, I'm recording it. Shit.
So yeah, I went there for 2.5 days. Got there Friday.
How long were you there for?
So I got there Friday. I left Saturday evening,
I can't see your face. I just see your body.
and so I was there, and we had our flights paid for. We had our hotel paid for. We had meals paid for. What are you doing?
You arranging stuff?
Yeah. Okay. We had flights paid for. We had hotels paid for. We had meals paid for. They gave us a $50 gift card to spend on incidentals. They, man, they just did so much. They gave us like $100 worth of, swag, shirts, jackets.
I wonder. I wonder. Go ahead.
A Yeti cup. What were you gonna say?
I said, I wonder if the guy who lost his leg would rather just have his leg back instead of all that shit.
Yeah, he would. But the fuck are you gonna do? Back in time?
He's like, I was gonna say, he's like, this is nice, but I can't fucking walk.
Ouch. You say that, and we joked about this shit. We sat down for the Corman reunion. We had a nice lunch, and the founder of the Semper Fi Fund was there. She's the one that came up with this idea, along with some other people. And she wanted us to all go around and give us a few minute talk, and I recorded it and put it on Anchor. I missed about fucking 30 to 40 minutes of testimony on that too. I don't know how that happened, but I guess I was trying.
I saw the clips about 2 hours long, 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, it should have been longer. And I think I was trying to upload and record too fast, and I might have lost one of my recordings. But then that sucked because anyway. So one guy was talking about his explosive injury and how he lost his leg below the knee, and I'm sorry, above the knee, and he got his whole left side, messed up pretty bad. He has a fat scar right along his jugular. Anyway, he was talking about, I had to learn to deal with that because there was nothing I could have done. And one of the other guys there said, well, you could have moved.
I mean, but then the problem is if he moves, he risks getting something else fucking blown off. So
well, when you step on an IED, you don't normally know that you stepped on it. Yeah. And he said his was command detonated, so they waited for him to step on it and press the trigger.
That bitch.
Yeah, that's how mine was. That popped next to my truck. It was a command detonation, so they were watching us, and yeah,
They didn't like you,
or they didn't like any of us. Turns out that, and this, when I found out about this has pissed me off. The guy that ended up doing that, the Marines tracked him down while we went to Altacadum Hospital, and I got some more stories about that here in a second. But the Marines tracked him down to a village. They were taking small arms, indirect fire from that village. They chased him down. They got him. They ran a kit on him, and he popped positive for gunpowder and homemaking explosive powder. And they found like all these materials in his house. He was obviously an insurgent, and this was the guy. This was the guy that just tried to kill us. And so they're getting ready to take him in, and the SEAL team shows up and it's like, hey, he's one of our assets. You can't have him. We got to take him. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Serious? Well, he just tried to kill like 3 of our dudes.
It's like that old Gandalf saying, you lose the battle, win the war.
So I like to think that they took him in and interrogated him and got some intel out of that.
The problem is we ain't won the war, so.
Right. Well, they just killed this ISIS leader here recently. So the thing about it is that, you're fighting against an idea. You're not It's not like World War II or even Vietnam. You're not fighting against government or political parties. You're fighting the idea of extreme Islam, not just basic Islam, but extreme Islam, Sharia law that, these people that are extremely violent are trying to spread. So
Do you
until
think?
you get rid of all the people that believe in that little subsection of religion and that little piece of it, until you get rid of every single one of them, you're going to keep fighting them. They're going to keep blowing themselves up. Like the guy they just killed activated a suicide vest and he had his kids with him. He killed him and his kids, which is what I just read. So that
Yeah.
news is still breaking.
Would you say if so? When we did when we said back in 2001, 2002 that we're going to war with Iraq and all that stuff, do you think if we had just, because we had pretty much global support, if we just went in and fucking just annihilated the place, just fucking wrecked it, like, I mean, I'm talking like, Pearl Harbor, or, not Pearl Harbor, like the Battle of Midway. Yeah, like here, if we just, yeah, if we just bombed the fuck out of it. Yeah, there was Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Nagasaki, that's it.
If we just went it, because when we nuked Japan, look how things changed for them. What if we had done? I'm not saying we have to nuke them, because then people are like, "You're using nukes again, you dumb shit." But like some of those fucking, like, if we just like dropped half of our ordnance over,
right?
I mean, do you think that would have? And yeah, it would have been bad, and like a lot of innocent people got killed in Japan, but it fucking stopped it, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, so you do that, and the thing about the Middle East is that no matter what has happened there, the fighting has never stopped.
Yeah.
So either you're fighting small engagements with your special operations forces, which we shipped to that in a huge way over the past decade. It's more about SEAL teams, Green Beret, Delta Force, Marines, MARSOC, Air Force commands, all those SOCOM and JSOC and all that crap. Yeah. They're all involved with trying to find these important people and kill them and not their soldiers, because if they don't have a leader to direct the soldiers, then they should just kind of fall apart. And that kind of happens, but then it also kind of doesn't, because a new leader steps up that's ambitious and it's like, we're going to continue all this. So, I mean, even if you did go over there and drop bombs, I'll give you an example. In Iraq, we came across Syrians who were from Iraq that came home to wage jihad and defend their home from us. So you're not just dealing with people in Iraq or Afghanistan even, or Pakistan or Syria. They're spread out all over there. So you killed a few hundred, a few thousand start coming in, and it's
my thing on that is, if we did it like we did in World War II style, the thing you're showing is that we're so far beyond you, there's no fucking point in you trying. When you send in the special forces units or the spec ops guys and they're taking out leadership, you could theoretically, if you just got lucky, could cap off a special forces guy, and that's fucking devastating to us. So, but if we take out 10 of their guys, no big fucking deal. So when you're doing the little ground fire shit, it seems to me like, well, what are you proving? I mean, now if we got those fucking, like, those Boston Dynamic robots and strapped fucking machine guns to them and shit, and like went just unloaded, like if you just had like just 20 of them fucking robots hauling ass across the back. Have you seen the newest videos of them bastards?
Nuh-uh.
Well, no, it's got a little pistol, and he's like, bam, bam, and he's like leaning forward and shit, and it's all self-sufficient. I mean, he's programmed, but he takes out the targets, and I mean, headshots, each one. And they even knocked his ass up. They even got, their stupid ass fucking hockey stick and knocked him over, and he loses his balance and shit, gets back up, bam, 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 still goes. So
I was thinking like this was a robotic platform. Is this a robot, a biped robot?
Yeah, bipedal with 2 arms.
Shit.
And a fucking battery. It's got a big ass fucking battery strapped onto its back.
Yeah,
it's only good for like 30 minutes of runtime. But if you could get it to, if the military got involved and they built one of those bastards that could last for like 8 hours operational status straight, and you just drop it into the zone and you're like, kill as many fuckers as you can. I mean, don't you think the Afghans would be like, oh, fuck, we bit off way more than we could chew?
No.
It's still fun.
The problem with them is that you hit on this, where we've got multi-million-dollar arrangements with other countries, with specialists of those militaries that are like the elite of the elite, and we're fighting against guys in bed sheets and fucking flip-flops wearing towels on their head, and they're still able to put up a fight with us. It's because of their ingenuity. It's because of their way to adapt to situations and still find a way to fucking kill you. So in Vietnam and even in World War II, we saw evidence of IEDs and different traps that they had laid, and they got very fucking inventive. And so in Vietnam, and then started to bleed into the Middle East, those IEDs and those improvised explosives, they're still deadly. And so you spend those millions of dollars on those robots, the money that the Department of Defense doesn't really have. I mean, they're cutting the budget left and right, getting rid of people. And I mean, they're paying out millions of dollars in compensation to retirees. And I mean, you just got all this money that's being spent.
Well, I mean, some of that shit they could cut, like the fucking NSA spending with all of our fucking technology, and then fucking terrorists, they're not communicating via text message and shit. They're sending letters on a fucking motorcycle.
Right. Or they're whispering into someone's ear, and you don't even know that guy, but he knows, and he's running that message. Anyway, the military apparatus.
The string can going across the building, and somebody's talking.
So the American military apparatus as a whole is very cumbersome. You know, the Navy does its job in defending the sea lanes, but we don't have a lot of terrorist attacks happening on the water right now. You know, you've got piracy.
When you got fucking all the aircraft carriers in the world, who the fuck is gonna? I mean, how would they even stand a chance? Maybe they just don't realize that.
They don't care. No, that's not the point. For them, all they want to do it's the terroristic ideology is to make a statement through force of power that is promoting a political goal or something like that. I forget the definition. I haven't read it in a while, but that's all they want to do is they want to make a statement to support their political agenda. And for some of them, their religion and their politics are one and the same, right? So, you know, with 9/11, that's what that all was about. It wasn't about destroying America. It was about striking at America and revealing that despite all your military might, you have weaknesses. And even now we still do. And so all it takes is for one person to exploit that, and everything fucking gets turned to shit again. You got security regulations out the ass. Fucking threat security gets raised. More money gets spent. And, you know, I was talking to somebody this weekend, and he was talking about our economic status. And he's like, you know, in 2 to 3 years, our interest rate on our debts are going to be so high we won't be able to afford to pay off the interest rates. So the economy is looking like it's going to collapse. And there's, you know, unless some drastic changes are made, we're not going to be able to do it. So where do you start looking? Well, in 2011, 2012, Congress was looking at the defense budget, and they started slashing it. So you might see that happen. But as far as, you know, the war goes over in the Middle East, there's really no 100% effective solution other than killing everybody that's there. And if you do that, you're committing genocide. If you do that, that's a war crime. And you know, all the other powers are going to sanction us and go against us, and hell, they might even fucking try to arrest our leaders. So
yeah, but I don't think we fuck with them enough. Like there was a part in World War II. It might have been Patton. It was one of the generals. I can't remember which one. I think it was Patton. When the war was just about done, he took all those damn Germans and he drove to like Auschwitz and the fucking. I don't know if it was Patton. I could be wrong. Could be MacArthur. I can't remember which one it was. But one of those fucking generals took the rank and took the soldiers, and they drove to the Jewish camps. And they said, look what you did. This is why you lost, because you did this shit right here. And how could you, you know? And so then maybe you do a little bit more stringent. Maybe you say you bomb a city, lots of people die, and you say your leader is the reason why this happened. Blame your frustrations on him. As long as he's in power, we'll continue bombing your cities. So you have a choice. Turn him over, or more people are going to fucking die.
Right. Well, and so their ideology is so deep. It's been going on for thousands of years. Their response would be, God wills it. They say, Inshallah, God wills it.
Well, then fuck it. Burn it on fire. Fuck it. God wills it. Fuck it, man. I just don't understand. I mean, now I know we're fucked. I get that now. I mean, it's too late. But in the beginning, when everybody had our backs, I don't see why we couldn't have just bombed the fuck out of some big cities and send flyers. Say you have 30 minutes to evacuate, and then boosh, just fucking bomb the fuck out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was interest there about, you know, political agendas like we need to protect.
See, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. Protect oil and gas. I mean, fuck that, man.
That's the way it is.
You got to cut the fucking head off the snake, man. Light all that shit on fire and be like, we can't have it. Nobody can fucking have it.
None of you motherfuckers getting paid.
Yeah,
Um,
burn all that shit.
yeah, and it's unfortunate that the Middle East and those areas have such strategic value, but are occupied by such well entrenched and tenacious enemies. You're just not going to be able to take it. It's
Uh,
very challenging. But on a lighter note, man, I got there and I was sharing my personal story at the core member reunion, and we were all talking about when we got hit or where we were at or what we did, and I was talking about how I used my ability to write and do poetry to help me kind of get all my frustrations out about my experience. And I watched that movie 13 Hours, the story of Benghazi. And yeah, I know Hollywood trumped it up because that's Hollywood, right? But I saw that, and that movie kind of inspired me, so I started to write. And I had a poem that I made, and I shared it at the reunion we were at. And the founder was sitting next to me, and everybody's like, "Man, that was great! Thank you so much." And somebody had said, you need to share that. And the founder looked at us and was like, "Yeah, let me go ahead and say this now. I like to go off script. I like to change things at the last minute. And you're going to come up there with me when I make my announcement to the 600 to 700 people there. You're going to read that." Oh, that's all I said was, "Oh, okay. Can I put my foot in my mouth now? I mean, I don't think I'm that flexible, but I'll try." So I went with it. And when I went up there, I got to say it, and I dedicated it to some people that I had known that had been killed. And I said that to everybody. A couple people cried, but everybody appreciated it and clapped. I got a standing ovation, and I got to meet the 19th chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dunford, and I posted his picture. He was willing to take a picture with me. And the 16th Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, which was Carlton Kent. He was actually the Sergeant Major when I was enlisted of the Marines. So he was actually leading us while I was serving. And that was, my entire 8 years, I never met anybody that high up the chain. And I met 4 people of that rank or similar in 2 days.
You didn't tell them, say, "Hey, man, could use a new car," while we're
Right.
talking.
No,
While we're talking,
no, no way. No fucking way. No, no,
or,
no.
you don't even have to ask for the car. You can just say, "Yeah, it's just really hard to get around these days. My car is a piece of junk, and I'm pretty, maybe I'll get it together. I'll just save for it, and I'm sure I'll get one."
Yeah.
And then
Right.
they're like,
Like, yeah,
"Oh,"
Dr. Will. And they'll move on.
they're like, "Man, General, this is really nice, but that bastard over there told me he wants his legs back." Can you
Right.
get
It's like, yeah, thanks for that, Doc. Thanks. Yeah, because he's the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff. He's the leader of all military forces under the president, of course. But
Well, it's
anyway,
good, man. It's good you got up there and talked. Is that the largest crowd you've ever performed
I,
in front of?
I've never approached a crowd that large, and I've never got a standing ovation like that. I've
All
never got
right.
a standing ovation at all, and that one I got one, and that was wow, man. People were like, after it was over, they were coming up and thanking me. I shook more hands that day than I ever have in my life, and I got cards from all these people. It was like, "Yeah, get in touch with me if you want to talk about things." And I was like, "Okay, yeah." And there was one guy. He's one of the original members of the Semper Fi Fund. He's a sergeant of the Marine Corps, and he was shot. He got into an altercation with his dad, and his dad shot him like 6 times, 5 or 6 times, and that cost him his legs. But he was talking with me, and he was like, "Man, I would love to come down there and see what you're doing in Waco." And I was like, the Marine Corps League would love to have you because I'm a volunteer at the Marine Corps League, and I got his number, so hopefully we can swing something. He's a busy guy, and not have any fucking legs. He just can't go anywhere. So I mean, he still has his legs, but he can't use them, right? But
Well, he
anyway,
should have been an asshole. His dad wouldn't have shot him.
yeah, right. No kidding. Yeah, so it was great, man, because I met people that I hadn't seen in like 10 years. And it's funny. Okay, so one of the guys that lost his leg above the knee and got all that shrapnel injuries on the right side of his body, I'm sorry, the left side of his body. He lost his right leg, got shrapnel injuries here. He was at the hotel the same time I was checking in. And I look at him, and he's put on weight. He's got a giant beard now, and I haven't seen him in a freaking decade. But I recognize him. I recognize his fucking eyes, and he's just got this. With the beard, he looks kind of like a gnome, but just a really big one because he's like 6'2". And so he's looking at me, and he's got this look on his face, and I'm looking at him, and I can tell he recognizes me, but I don't remember his damn name. So I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything. But the more I look at him, the more he looks at me, and we're not saying something, but we know each other. I finally just said, "Why do I feel like I know you?" And he says, "Because you do know me." 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines? Yeah. We caused a big ass scene in front of everybody. I was like, I haven't seen this guy in 10 years, and God, I just couldn't believe it. We
For
met.
all of our,
You know what?
go ahead.
We met
For all of our, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, for all of our listeners, what are you gonna say?
Yeah, I'll say for all of our listeners, sorry, Aaron told this exact same fucking story Friday night, word for word. So thank you.
I told this story Friday night, word for word.
Yes, you said the big guy with the beard and everything. You gave him a hug. He recognized you. You said the whole damn thing.
Oh, that's right. We did a call Friday. I forgot that we had done that. Well, this is just all part of the experience. So I'm sorry.
I could have stopped you at any point. I could have stopped you, but I was
but it's like we heard that already. Well, hey, maybe there's some listeners on that haven't heard this yet. So if you haven't heard, that's what happened Friday. Anyway, we ran into some guys that knew people that I had known, like Tyler Burdick. Tyler Burdick, he lost one leg and had another leg severely injured. And he ended up just amputating both in the end. But now he's a Paralympic sportsman, and he does a lot of skiing. And what I heard from the other guy, who's also in the Paralympics, he had a surgery to correct his damage, but they left medical material inside of his leg, and he ended up having to have that amputated. His name's Max. Max, yeah.
Sit behind in the leg. You're sitting there working on him. Fuck it.
It happens all the time, man.
What'd you do with your pen, Doc?
Shit. It was a clamp. They let some sort of clamp in there. Yep. And you just can't do that because over time things start to happen, and that's what happened to him. It was over a year, and like several surgeries later, he just decided to cut the fucking thing off. So he did it below the knee, and he's in the Paralympics now, and he's big, man. He's been lifting, and at first I didn't believe he was a corpsman because I haven't seen corpsmen that size before. He does shot put. He does track and field.
I did shot put. I gold medal in that shit
too. I told him about that. You did that little foot scooting thing, and he's like, God, I hate that.
Yeah, well, so that night, and I know Eddie listens to the podcast, so I'm gonna have to put him on fucking Front Street. But that day, the day I won the gold, and mind you, it's kind of a big deal because I was the only white guy my entire high school career
to say something like that. When you won the gold at track, you came home and it was like, da 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 da, the champ is here. I got gold. You don't got nothing. You suck. You just holding up your medals for me to see, just walking around the house.
I still got those. I still got that fucking medal, man. I won the gold. So, anyways, I say I still got it. It's like I got like 3 or 4 of them, and I don't know which one was which because they weren't labeled, but I think one of them's the right one.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So that day, so let me just explain this to all the listeners, and I know we're getting off topic from the military stuff, but whatever.
That's fine. We don't have to stay on it.
So we were doing track and field, and so track and field. Most people think of track and field running, jumping, shit like that, like actually cardiovascular activities, stuff that you got to be lean, mean, and green, shit that you got to, you've got to be able to go. You got to move. Now, there's 2 sports in track and field where you don't necessarily have to have those. Well, there's 3 if you count javelin, but we didn't have javelin. Shot put and discus. For those 2, you don't have to have a lot of speed. That's really power and technique, okay?
Definitely.
What they would do is they would take the guys, so all the fast guys, all your wide receivers and quarterbacks and, your free safeties, all those guys automatically on the track team, like wasn't even up for discussion. They're going to run.
One of the qualifying things is that you had to be fast to be, a free safety or wide receiver or something like that. So if you're already fast, then yes, you're going on the track team.
So all the offensive and defensive linemen, we had to fucking do discus and shot put because there's no way in fuck we were running a race.
Yeah.
the only lineman that they ever had run a race was big Fred Falk. He was the only guy that I ever saw run. Everybody else, all the rest of us had to do shot put and discus. So it wasn't taken very seriously because it's like, well, obviously they don't care. You could see like these guys, they got uniforms, they got special shoes, they're fucking working the stuff. Coach came over there and he would tell us what to do and watch us do it. But it never seemed like it was fucking going anywhere. It never seemed serious. But we would train. I mean, we would practice. Yeah. And there's 2 different types of throws that they teach you in shot put. One is you stand up, you got the ball right here, you lean down, and you push it. And that's
him.
Hey, boy, rock and roll. Is your little one here yet?
No.
Okay, well, I'm telling the story to Aaron, so you're gonna have to listen to this shit.
Okay.
So anyway, so that's the first play. That's just the normal shot put throw. The other one is that glide kick, and that one you get the ball right up to your neck, you lean down and you put your fingers to your toes, you lift your leg up, you scoot back, and you fucking launch that bitch. Well,
Scoot. Like I saw you do it a couple times, and I saw you were jerking backwards. It's like if you've ever tried to shift gears in your car jerks, that's kind of what it looked like.
Yeah, that's basically what you're doing, man. And you have to be careful because when you start spinning, your momentum can get your legs kicking around, and if you kick too far, you kick out and you lose, you scratch, and you don't get your score doesn't count. You have to exit the ring beyond a certain point. If you walk over the stump, you lose. You don't get anything. So you have to be extremely careful when you're walking out that bitch. Anyways, so you get 3 throws. The best of 3 is the one that you win.
Yes.
And we're all got, and John, I don't remember if you were there or not, but we all got our hands in our pockets. We're just bullshitting. Nobody's giving a fuck. Everybody's just kind of clowning. Thomas is there. He's just goofing off, saying funny shit. And the first 2 times, it's pretty obvious that we're sucking. Like we're not even gonna place. Like we're getting clowned on. And I'm getting ready to get up to throw, and I can't remember what Eddie said, but he said something that fucking pissed me the fuck off. Like they were giving me shit. Like, oh, what are you trying for? What are you going up there? You're not gonna do anything. You're not gonna do anything. What the fuck, man? Get over yourself. And just giving me shit about it. Like just fuck grief. And so I was like, fuck it. So I don't know what happened, but I'm not saying like I'm a pro athlete or anything, but you remember, if you ever listen to Michael Jordan talk, he talks about getting in the zone.
Yeah.
Everything funnels away. And all you remember is that muscle memory. And that throw, I hit every move that you were supposed to hit. I did the form perfectly straight, and I launched that fucking shot put, and it landed like 5 feet over everybody else's. And it was just one of those, when it hit, everybody said, ooh! And
it made the sound, when that shot put hits the ground, it's like, boom, off.
Yeah. And everybody's like, ooh! And everybody's like, good throw, man. And like people fucking high-fiving me shit. And I'm not going to, I know I'm throwing him under the bus here, but I remember looking over there at Eddie, and he just had his arms folded. Didn't say shit. Didn't say a damn thing. I was like, man, give me some love. Now, like 15 years later, he was like, yeah, man, you did it. You had a good throw. You had a good throw. I'll give you that. And
15
it's like,
years later?
Yeah, you can't deny it. I mean, and I'm not, and so like they know, like, well, baseball, I fucking sucked. Basketball, I sucked. Football, I was average at best. Shot put was the one.
Did you get into the golden circle of linemen?
Huh?
Yeah.
But I mean, for my size though, I should have been fucking playing college ball, but I didn't really give a shit, and I was slow as fuck, and I didn't really care. But shot put was one. Shot put was one that I just won. I mean, I got the gold, and I did it perfectly. I followed all the training, and from that day forward, that was guaranteed spot on the track team. Like every time track season came up, everybody else had to go outside and do off-season shit. Coach told me to get in the damn shot put ring and throw it.
Throw it until your shoulder pops out of socket.
Now, when I made it to the regional competition, this big old bastard got up there and just stood there and like launched it over everybody. He didn't have to do shit. Like he didn't have the glide or nothing. He just and it just went over everybody. So.
I remember one guy, he did that. There was one dude. He got it. Yep. He threw it. And he goes, next throw. He threw it. Is that one better? No. He scratched. I'm like, why are you scratching for? It ain't like you got shot out there. But he just scratched. Then his last shot, bam. Was it better? No? Oh, he scratched. I'm like, why are you scratching yourself? I didn't understand.
All he cared about his personal record.
Well, you could tell most of the shot putters and discus throwers weren't really taking it seriously. You could tell it was the guys that couldn't run, and they had to do something with them, so they just had them out there. And yeah, but I was like, shit, man, I fucking got the gold. I was fucking happy as fuck, man. First place, 10 points for the team. Then we became district champs. I helped out with that. So pretty big thing. But whatever. It was a long fucking time ago. I hadn't won any golden competitions since then in sports.
Not yet.
There's not. No, I'm not.
Not yet.
Well.
Yet. Anyways.
So, what's up with the baby? Where's the baby at?
Where's that Indeed? Where's she at Indeed? Just waiting. We're waiting. Still waiting. The waiting game now.
Birthday. November.
Yeah, we're waiting. Still waiting. Take a bet. Anyone take bets?
November,
It's probably going to be right on Halloween, so y'all have a Halloween baby.
Oh man.
November 1st. So it'd be the same month.
I was going to ask y'all because I was talking about it this morning. I was going to ask y'all last night, and off topic. I'm sorry, but what is the shittiest Halloween costume y'all remember having?
Oh, I can go right to the throat with that one, man.
Okay, well Shane, Aaron knows. Do you know your Shane?
My mom has where it's me with like white face paint and
Okay.
crayon or lipstick or some weird blood shit going down my face, and I'm a vampire. The only thing that qualified me to be a vampire was that my skin was fucking pale and I had thick ass black hair. And I'm wearing this goofy ass looking cape, but just wearing regular kid ass clothes like
Yeah, I was wearing a normal shirt.
Yeah. Rah, I'm a vampire. Fight you.
Yeah, he had that one. And then
But
I
did you
had
like it
one.
though? Did you like the costume?
I mean, I liked being scary, I guess, but
Okay.
I
Well,
look
you know,
back
as long as you liked it, then. Shane?
Yeah, he went running around fucking playing. Well, he was playing vampire all night in that damn thing. Blah, blah,
yeah, flapping the wings of the
That's how you made shape.
blah. Yeah, yeah. So for me, it was this. My mom had found this fucking foam. There was like these glasses made out of foam, and it had these little lightning bolts on the top of it to make like a little crown.
Okay.
And it was that mask plus a fucking blue trash bag, and I was supposed to be Zeus, the god of lightning.
I'm sorry. Matthew Reed just invited me to his live video, and he's just sitting in his fucking truck. He's just sitting there. Sorry.
Man.
I'm gonna stay on just so I can see what he's doing.
Man, Shane.
Yeah. So, do you remember when the Zeus costume mom made for me?
Yeah, man. That was a long fucking time ago, but I remember that shit.
How old were you on that one?
It was my might have been 11 or 12 or something like that. It was fourth grade maybe, so it might have been 10 or 11. I can't remember for sure.
Shit. So the other place fell through, Shane. That other place fell through.
So Aaron John's trying to go on
no go.
He's trying to go on what?
A ghost adventure.
Okay. I want to do that. I want to do that haunted house where they pay you like $20,000 if you can survive.
You do know. I was reading that. You do know that's an 8-hour event, right?
Nobody has finished it. Everybody.
The longest that went is a lady from Tennessee, I believe. She went 6 hours. It's 2 people go in one night.
So I guess like if you make it past the 6, maybe the last 2 hours are just really loud rock fucking music like blaring in your ear.
They just ramp it up and like every second somebody's grabbing you and shaking you.
They can put their hands on you, Shane. They'll make you do stuff. They'll make you look like you're about to drown. You'll be like fucking knee high, ankle high in mud, or you be in claustrophobia. They're gonna find out what you're scared of, and once they find out, Shane, that's when they fucking press it into you.
Yeah, and there's certain conditions that you have to follow, or you'll get disqualified. You can't cuss.
Yep.
You can.
Well, the first day it's like shit. Oh fuck.
Yep. And Shane's out of there 5 minutes in.
No, that's what I tripped over my shoelaces walking in. Shit. Well,
I'm sorry, sir. You have to go. But I haven't even signed the waiver. Yeah, you're done, man. Just
no, they let me compete. I make it all the way through, and they're like, "Oh, you're disqualified. You cussed at the very beginning."
When? At the very beginning. Sorry, you just went 8 hours for no reason. Shane,
got it on. Oh yeah.
There's a 40-page waiver you must sign.
A 40-page, boy.
You must take a drug test the day of the event. You must be signed off by your personal physician that you're capable of going through this task.
Yeah.
And how much do you win if you get it? How much do you win?
$20,000.
$20,000. Shane, no one has made it.
No one.
Soldiers, doctors, people who've seen this kind of crap have not made it through this thing.
I don't know, John. I think I could put up with bullshit for 8 hours. I think I can fucking do it. 25.
I gotta do it. It's I mean, yeah. If they start dunking me in water and trying to drown me, then I'll freak the fuck out. But
I think they don't do it to you. You kind of do it to yourself. It's kind of one of those things like, well, you need to get that key. Well, it's under that water. Well, You need to get that key.
But you have to
Yeah,
complete the objectives. Like you got to complete the missions. You got to solve everything.
But what I've seen on YouTube, yeah, there's some objectives you gotta do. Like, well, flip the switch. What you do? Flip the switch, or I think a guy said like flip the switch or cut your girlfriend's hair or some shit like that. Some shit like
So,
that.
oh, okay. Well, maybe they
Yeah.
did it
So
where it's impossible that you can do it, and it's not necessarily scary. It's just very complicated to do.
it's very difficult. Yeah, it's very difficult. But it's supposed to be scary.
8 hours.
It's supposed to scare the daylights out of you.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Say, getting shit scared out of you for 8 hours.
Man, 20 grand. Fuck it.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You'll get verbally abused. You can get
You suck. You piece of shit. You look ugly. Look at your nose.
How are military people not doing this? Because Marine Corps boot camp is bad.
Yeah, you can. It's all possibilities. Like you could possibly be subjected to claustrophobia. Possibly have snakes or spiders crawling on you. You could possibly.
If they
possibly,
I'm fucking suing, and I don't care what waiver I sign.
They have had the authorities called on them. Someone who's done the event has got out and called the authority to come arrest them. But you know what though? They got a camera in every fucking room. So your story never matches up to what their story is. No, look, you're right here. You're fine. What are you talking about? You're never no danger. You put yourself in danger. You
did something to screw it up.
Yeah. McClaney has said, I've gotten death threats. I've got hateful mail.
Well, that's it, guys. We got to make a trip to this place, and we got to fucking do it.
Yep, we got to make it a big beefing event.
You know how long? We
got to wear our shirts. We got to wear shirts.
You know what the waiting list is? Thousands.
Wow, so it's going to be so you can get in there.
Hey, look, we got stuff planned for next year. We can do it next year, no problem.
I think he moves locations though. I think he moves them.
What do? They strip you down and make you run around in there naked or some shit?
No, you don't run around naked, but you're not allowed to have your personal cameras on you, I believe, or nothing like that. But shit, God, fuck, 8 hours just getting your ass just pounded, just the wailing on you, or
they actually physically attack you?
Some parts I saw one where the guy had the girl wrapped around her arm around the girl. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So they can possibly one of the waivers says you could possibly be force fed.
What do you have to eat?
That's a big one. So in Guantanamo Bay, this rapper, Mos Def, went to Guantanamo Bay and he wanted to demonstrate as a protest to how the terrorists are being treated there. And they force fed him with a tube where they shoved it down his fucking nose. And he was like, you got to stop. It got to where they were putting it in and it was going down his throat. He was coughing. He's like, I can't do this no more. You gotta quit. So that shit ain't easy, man. You'll end up throwing up if it was your first time.
I've had that done to me when I had the alcohol poisoning. They took that fucking tube, took it down. I felt it touch my esophagus, pushing it down.
Yeah, I remember because you choked the nurse when he tried to put it down your penis.
Yeah, fuck him, man. Fuck him. I ain't choke his ass out. Yeah. I do apologize. I do apologize for that. I do seriously apologize. I have never choked anyone like that. Bitch, I said, I'm like, oh, fuck.
They had to put a catheter in him so he wouldn't piss himself in the fucking bed. And he resisted.
Well, there was that, and then he was so severely dehydrated that they had to feed the catheter into him to get fluid.
I feel bad for doing that.
All I remember about that night is the fucking drive there. It's fucking anarchy. Picking you up and carrying you out of the damn car in my arms like you were a chick and running into the fucking emergency room.
What was it? Like the bodyguard?
Well, yeah, they were like, why did you park here? Why did you park here? And I'm like, my friend, he needs help. And then we're standing out there afterwards and we're like, what do we do? And Josh was like, well, I guess we call his mom. And I'm like, well, I don't want to call Rachel up here. And he's like, well, you got to.
Talk about this already.
Yeah, well, like I said, Chris showed up and he was like, man, I understand if you don't do it, but if you do it, I'll respect the hell out of you. And I was like, fuck. I'll call Rachel up there and she's fucking pissed. She wanted to fucking break my neck.
What, really?
She was pissed because I was the face. I was the one that she knew. She didn't know Josh or Chris. She fucking knew my ass standing up there. And I was like, yeah, we were just drinking, and he got really sick. And he's underage.
We're still good, right? We're still good, Rachel, right? We're still good. We're still good, right?
I hugged her and cried, and she cried, and then even Chris.
I remember she was more upset, but like she's upset at me. She was mad at you, but at the end of the day, she told me she was happy to let you at least call. She's happy you called, so But yeah, man,
we were all over there crying. Even Chris, Chris didn't even fucking know anybody, and he was crying with everybody.
What day? What was that, Shane?
Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, what's Cinco de Mayo?
Cinco de Mayo in 2004 or 2003. When did we go paintball, Aaron? What did I keep saying? I kept saying paintball 2000.
2004.
Okay, Cinco de Mayo 2004.
So you got the new
video
logo?
Just me shout and4 every time you said 2000.
Do you have the new saying on the super baddest super Kaya?
Yeah, Aaron wrote like a fucking page of that shit once. The Triple X Hardcore Double Sale in a Sale November to Remember.
I can look it up. I can look it up for you. I can say it verbatim. Okay. Give me a second here. You guys keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember y'all had it got longer and longer. And why did y'all keep making it?
It started when we were playing video games and somebody would play a Mortal Kombat tournament and be like, "Oh, I'm the Mortal Kombat champion," and then we'd start watching wrestling and be like, "I'm the Mortal Kombat and Hardcore champion," or "I'm the Mortal Kombat Falls Count Anywhere Hardcore Double X Suck It Rock Bottom SmackDown champion." I mean,
and then I started adding on other dimensions.
Then it became like I'm the Super Saiyan Master Roshi.
So Shane, you started that. You started the whole Dragon Ball Z shit. And we based it off of every game we played. So if I beat him for a title match in that game, it added to my total title, right? the Grandmaster Roshi, Dragon Ball Z, Triple X, Hardcore, Mortal Kombat, Brawl for Nothing at All, because Stone Cold says so. You smell what the Rocket's cooking? Mad Mardigan, Hell in a Cell, Warhammer, Street Fighter 1, 2, and 3, Soul Calibur, Dead or Alive, Single and Double Team, Kicking Your Candy Ass, Beast Wars, Kaioken times 10, Thundercats, Voltron, Want to Play Again, Check to the Wreck, D-Generation X, the Road Dog Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws. It's so damn evil, gonna have a heart attack. Yo, mama stinks. Power Rangers, Autobots, rolled out, Paintball 2000 champion.
I never heard of the Bad Mardigan. Bad Mardigan. Where did Bad Mardigan came from?
It's from Willow.
Yeah, but
and I think it was like I made that connection because Daniel, whenever he talked about it, he always brought up the fucking Daikini baby for whatever reason. It's a Daikini baby.
Every time Daniel saw a little baby, it's a Daikini baby. Yes, Daniel. Every time. Yes, every time Daniel see a baby.
It's a that experience. I add that in there.
Yes, Daniel. Daikini baby.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What's he been doing?
Huh?
Where is Daniel? What's he been doing?
He got the puppets from Michael. He got the puppets.
So Michael's done. Michael's out of the puppet game.
He's out. So Michael moved back to Corsicana. Daniel helped him, and Michael surprised Daniel by giving him the puppets. Daniel shit his pants, and now he got like 8 more puppets, and he's just fucking. Oh, now doesn't know what to do now.
That investment Michael put into those puppets did not fucking pay off. I failed
because I ruined it, Shane. I ruined it.
Yeah. Well, so he was right. Michael was right. That's what we need to label this podcast.
He was right from the beginning, and Michael I said right. he was going to be a problem. I said he was.
So I saw Daniel's got like some hazmat gear for Halloween. He's going as a.
I don't know. Yeah, something. A cleanup crew or something like that.
Oh, okay. So
something like that. Like okay, then that's cool. I thought he was doing something from Breaking Bad. I never watched no Breaking Bad episodes, but I don't know.
You didn't ever watch it?
Never. I gotta say, still haven't cracked it open yet.
You gotta check that out, John. It's a good show.
Some of it's really good. Some of it's kind of boring. So it's high and low.
Well, you always gonna have the show. and then you have fillers in between, and you know.
So this chemistry teacher is a cold SOB, man, and he really proves it at the end. You got to watch it all the way to the end, and you'll really have an appreciation for how bad that chemistry teacher is.
Yeah,
And
he worse though. I think he still had some humanness to him. He still had a human side to him.
Yeah, I mean, he approached his wife and like they hashed it out. So I mean, that showed you that he still had some compassion. But what he did on the last episode, bro, was cold blooded. You got to see that.
I don't see what the problem is. Why couldn't his family just fucking get over it? He's making the millions of dollars. Who gives a shit?
Well, because her brother was a DEA agent, man.
Well, he should have been a little bit more
damn,
careful about shit.
brother-in-law for the DAA engine.
Yeah, that's one of the tensions behind the show is like, you know, will he find out? Will he ever learn about it? And he finally
he's having to hide it from his brother-in-law the whole time. He's got to be under the radar and make sure that he never gets caught because his brother-in-law starts looking into this guy. And there's an episode, John, and I hate to spoil this for you. There's an episode where he's in like a camper and his brother-in-law is right outside trying to get in it. And he's like, I'm going to get in it and get this bastard. He's in there right now. And the owner of that lot was like, you can't go in there. You don't have a warrant. You need a warrant to go in there. I'm sorry, you can't. If you do, I'm having you arrested. You can't go in there. And so the DA agent was like, well, if I break in and he testifies against me, my whole case goes in the toilet and everything I work for is lost. So he leaves, and that allows the chemistry teacher to get out.
God dang, man.
Well, it keeps going, and it ends up the guy, the brother. He's so obsessed with finding this guy, like it's starting to cost his career. Like they're starting to want to fire him and stuff, and he gets caught up in a shootout, and it gets to the point where it's like, you know, they're thinking he's crazy. He won't let it go, and then finally one day he's walking into Walter's house, and Walter he used this code name. He called himself Heisenberg. Heisenberg was this chemist that was real famous for discovering a bunch of shit back in the day. And I think he found gamma rays or radiation or something like that. He discovered gray matter. I can't remember what it was he fucking discovered, but something important. And anyways, he uses that guy as his alias. So the rumor starts going around. There's this guy Heisenberg. He's this new dealer. He's a new player. Well, one day, the brother-in-law is taking a dump at his house, and Walter has one of his fucking books out, and it has a little note in there about Heisenberg. And that's when he's like, oh, shit. He figures out that this whole time it's been his brother-in-law.
Yeah. Heisenberg is considered one of the pioneers of quantum mechanics.
Oh, there you go. Quantum mechanics.
Did you see that Google may have made a quantum machine, a quantum computer?
Oh, shit. What are they going to do with it?
I don't know. Maybe.
People are speculating that quantum computers can like crack the code for time travel and shit.
Well, from what I understood, so there was the guy who made Doom, the guy who made the Doom games, Michael Carmack. He was on Joe Rogan a couple months ago, and he was saying that quantum computers are good for like code breaking and hacking codes and massive calculations. But he's not sure that they'll be good for making AIs. So I had heard though that quantum computers would change everything, but I think he was saying that the problem is they're so unpredictable. So I don't know.
So Shane, you brought up Joe Rogan. There's a girl that I kept up with on Facebook who she's just kind of a basic white girl, you know, likes pumpkin lattes and all that dumb crap. And she really hates Joe Rogan. She thinks he's full of crap. He thinks he's like an extremist, that he's full of himself. He doesn't know what he's talking about half the time. And, you know, I was like, whatever, you're valued. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm not going to argue with you about it. But her boyfriend likes him. And they went on a road trip that was so long she was able to fall asleep in the car. And she posted on Facebook, fell asleep to Joe Rogan, woke up to Joe Rogan. Is this hell?
It's not that bad. I mean,
what makes it so funny to me is like you're blowing this out of proportion.
I don't like his episodes when he has the comedians on and they're just bullshitting. And I don't really care too much for the fighters because he's just talking about their routines and stuff. But when he's got like the scientists and the doctors and the politicians, it's really fucking interesting because you don't ever get to hear them just sit and talk. You know?
Yeah.
And he talks to him for 3 hours.
3 hours?
Yeah, well, 2 to 3 hours are his average podcast length.
Yeah, 2 to 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah, he had this one guy that doesn't believe in that's like a so hardcore atheist that he wants everybody to be an atheist.
Hmm.
And his only lasted an hour because he had a flight to get on. But Joe Rogan was like, yeah, but when you take these drugs and you go into this alternate plane of existence, that's about. And the doctor said, well, to do that, you still have to have a brain, and brains deteriorate. So when you die, your brain deteriorates, and that shit stops. And Joe was like, well, there's nothing afterwards. And the guy's like, no, there's nothing. Your brain's dead, and that's fucking it. It's game over. Joe Rogan was like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah,
So,
it's a sad prospect to think of. I mean, but it is a popular following. I've read articles that show that church attendance has declined over the past 10 years.
well,
And
this guy's celebrating that. He was saying that he's saying that he was winning, that people were stopped going. The whole thing, it just would suck if you're dead, then what happens next? Like you just not it's
you don't
fucked up.
exist. We got a little.
Yeah.
We're talking about when you die, nothing happens after.
You're dead. What happens then? You're dead. Then what? You're dead. You're
that
dead.
can be a subject for some people, and I think you have to approach that with a level of respect. It's like, look, I know you might not see eye to eye with me, but to me, it's just hard to think that people can live ghastly, terrible lives, and their lives are just full of suffering or something like that, and then they just die. It's hard for me to think that that's how it is. I have to have hope that something better waits for people that have
I hear
the life.
that.
Yeah.
Do you remember Aaron when our cousin passed away, and we were at the
I was just thinking of it. I know where you're going. I was just thinking of that.
and we were all sitting there, John. We're all sitting around. My cousin had just died. It's fucking terrible. We're in the funeral.
He was like 34, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, it was. I think he was under 30. I think he was 27 or 26.
Oh, okay. It was the first one of our first generation of cousins to pass away.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he died. It was terrible circumstances. Family's distraught. I named Roger after his dad, so we were close to. And we're sitting there, and everybody's upset about it. It's just a shitty day. And one of my other cousins looks around to everybody, and this is what she says. She says, I don't know why you guys are all upset. Everybody knows he was going to hell. He went to hell. Why are you so upset? And we're just like, fuck, man, fucking terrible timing. What the fuck are you trying to say? She was drunk off her ass. And then,
At a funeral?
Yeah, at the funeral. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when my aunt,
was
passed.
it his sister?
Huh?
It was his sister, wasn't it?
Huh?
Wasn't it his sister?
No, this was, one of Randy's kids.
I thought it was his sister. Okay, I got you.
No. That bitch, because those women got their own problems, but
Bad.
they don't ever listen to this, but whatever, they know.
Yeah.
But
she just got to give up one of her kids to adoption.
Well, I'd rather, you know what? Kid's probably better off.
Probably better off. Yeah, but I'm just saying that shows her living situation right now. I don't mean to go off topic, Shane. You can keep going.
Yeah, well, we were at my aunt's funeral, and she was drunk off her ass, and I guess her son was facing some type of got in some kind of charge, got in trouble for something, and she was like, "Yeah, he's only 18 and he's got these charges," and I'm like, "That sucks." And she's like, "What do you know about the legal system? Don't you work for him?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You one of those crooked guys? Are you fucking corrupt? Would you do that to us 18-year-old?" And I'm like,
God dang, man.
her husband stepped in and he was like, he's like, "Come on, man, he's got nothing to do with this. Why are you talking to him about it?" And he didn't want it to be known. Like, he didn't want the info getting out there, but I guess she didn't give a shit. And I was like, I don't know what to fucking tell you. My experience in the criminal justice system has been 98% of the time, the person was guilty of what they did. I've met, in my entire 10 years, I've come across two people that I think were innocent. One of them was a lady who was in college. She went to a party. Somebody spiked the punch. She had never drank alcohol in her entire life. She genuinely did not know that she was drunk. She didn't know. She didn't know what. She just thought she was feeling bad. Gets in the car and drives and gets pulled over, arrested for DWI. That one, I think she was innocent. I think she genuinely, because she was crying. Like, I would say, yeah, you can't drink alcohol because you're off. And she was like, but I didn't know. And she was like, just upset the whole fucking time. I'm like, okay, lady, shit, this is going to be really easy for you. But the other guy was an old man, and he was fucking severely disabled. So much so that I don't think he could actually drive. But his son was driving, and I think his son was drunk and crashed into a car. And his son got out, and I think he scooted over into the driver's seat to take the charge for him because there's no way he could have driven. And the sad thing about that dude is he ended up dying, and nobody called me to tell me that he was dead. Like nobody, none of his family called. Nobody gave a fuck. He just,
Damn.
yeah, I found out by calling the hospital he was at to check on him, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he died 3 days ago." And I was like, "Damn, man, nobody called me. Nobody sent me a message or nothing." So, oh well.
Well, another thing that one of our family members said around this time period, yeah, life sucks, and then you die. God dang, dude. A lot of mirth and happiness in this.
Y'all donors?
I am now. I'm doing my damn my driver's license is expired. I got to get it renewed. You know, you got to have your fucking birth certificate when you go in for your license now.
Shay, okay, Shay, yes, I did blow. Being me, yes, I blew up. My wife went up there to get her driver's license, and they said they need her birth certificate. I over-exaggerated. I thought they were just being racist.
No, they fucking had me going too.
So they asked you. So I over-exaggerated. I was like, no, because you got brown skin. That's why they need to know. Duh. So I over-exaggerated a little bit.
I even printed out, like Sarah, we had a copy digitally. I walk in there. So the first place I go into, we were like, "Oh, you got to have your birth certificate or a passport." I have neither. So I was like, "Okay, all right. Well, I guess I'll go get one." I text Sarah and I was like, "Hey, we got a birth certificate around the house," and she was like, "Yeah, we got one." And she emailed it to me, and I was like, "Okay." So I walked in there with it, and the woman's like, "Okay, you got your birth certificate?" And I'm like, "Yep, right here." And she says, "Oh, that looks like a copy." And I'm like, "Yes, it's a copy." He's like, "That's not going to work." And I was like, "What the fuck, man?" So now you tell me I got to go all the way down to Navarro and get the fucking copy from the courthouse? I'm going to have to take off work half a day to do this bullshit. So fortunately, we have one here. Like we have a certified copy, like it's embossed. It's got the little stamp. But yeah, it's part of the REAL Act. It was passed in 2005, and it requires federal ID.
Shane look this shit up.
Yeah, because I was fucking pissed. And they're running into a big problem with these old guys that were like born back in the 20s and 30s and like were born in a house or on a farm, and they have no records. So you got these 90-year-olds that want to drive, and they're going in and they're like, yeah, you got to have your birth certificate. And they're like, I was born before they were regularly doing that. So
the problem we had was they told her, okay, you need birth certificate, but don't worry, go over to Window 5 and go get a copy of it. Okay, so she went over to Window 5. Yep, ma'am, we got your wedding license here, but not your birth certificate. So
yes.
Like, so what do I need to do? Like, well, I guess you got to go where you came from, and I guess you damn thing come back, you know. But
yeah, I think you have to go to the Social Security office, and that place is a freaking nightmare. But the thing is what about people that are like foster kids or adopted or something, and nobody knows where they were born? What are they supposed to do? You know, I mean,
that's what they're supposed to do.
They're supposed to do what?
Never mind.
Uh-oh, it's morphin' time. I'm telling you, John, you got to get you a Red Ranger costume.
No, he does not. No, he does not.
No, he can get one of the ones like the movie, like something that's got like the armor and stuff on there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. I'm sure you can't hear us though in that damn helmet.
I can hear you a little bit through the earpiece or the mouthpiece or whatever the hell is the air hole to the front.
These are street rangers. Street rangers, we will unite. We will turn the darkness into light.
I think he just does comedy now.
Yeah, he's like on a road tour, but I think the magic's gone, and he didn't make a whole lot of money off of that, even though like everybody knows who he is. Kind of like,
but you know, he chased a dream though. He chased a dream.
No, I mean he went for it, and that realistically is better than we could ever hope for. So good for him.
Yeah. So, huh? You want a snack?
He wants a snack at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I can't
feed
get a
him.
snack.
Feed him, boy. Get yourself one too.
Go. Well, I keep telling everybody. Yeah.
That's not the good snack, John. Give him the good
Uh-oh.
snack.
I keep telling everybody at work, hey, that don't work, Shane. Whoa, go get a snack. Ask grandma for a snack. But I keep telling everybody at work, yeah, guys, I'm slightly overweight.
Yeah. Well, that's not what the doctor said, though, right?
Slightly. I'm slightly overweight.
Grossly overweight.
Grossly. I prefer slightly overweight.
Well, we've hit our hour mark, boys. We're gonna have to wrap this up.
All right. Tell you that now, Shane.
Tell Daniel to get his ass on the podcast. Shane, we got a special guest lined up. You got one lined up?
Yeah.
We got one.
Our cousin Austin.
Yeah.
He went to Japan to propose to his girlfriend. They're getting married.
Oh, awesome.
You know, she kind of looks like him.
A little bit.
That's why he loves. That's why who can love him more than him? You know?
Well,
Yeah.
well, scientific studies have shown that the longer you live with your spouse, the more you look like them because
Well,
you're consciously imprinting their facial expressions on each other. Like you've done the Sarah look, and Sarah's done a look like you.
That's how that goes. All right, Aaron at Southeast Star got a new podcast up where he talks to other Marines and stuff in Washington, D.C. We got John at JP's What, who doesn't do podcasts anymore. And we're at Big Beefin' at Big Beefin'. No, he still does. He still does. You put one up today?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I guess I didn't see it. I was thinking, I was like, oh, I hadn't heard from him in a while. I'll check
Great
it out.
job, Shane. Great job.
Was it a good one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out then.
Also, be on the lookout for Southeast Third as I host the Waco Poet Society tomorrow at 5:30.
Oh, really?
Yep.
All right, boy. Get that secret recording on.
Yeah.
We're at Big Beefin, Beefin, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Hit us up. Have a good night. We'll see everybody Wednesday.
See ya.
Fuck you.
Yeah.